Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is 11:07 p.m. Saturday, November 8th, 2025, out in the world where I am right now, which is Baltimore, Maryland. Not that long ago, I was back not in LA, the West LA VA campus. And the week before that, where was I? Same place. The week before that, the same place. But the week before that, I was talking about, I said, you know what? I was at the bus stop here in Baltimore, Maryland, making life decisions, life choices, reaching out, calling a friend. I said, you know what? I'm at the bus stop. And one of those things is, you think it's a great idea? It seems like a good idea. I'm not doing anything. I'm usually not doing anything. I said, for the last, speaking of which, the year is almost over. It's not January anymore. It's not July anymore, right? It is November 2025 in a couple of weeks. Like it or not, 2026 will be here. And I'm thinking back at my vision board. Did I check out not one thing on my vision board? No. Not one. But there's a reason for it. I'm sure it is. It's like one of those things. I said I used to be one of those people that I was big into astrology. I was reading my horoscopes every year. And I said it got to the point I used to read my horoscope just for the fun of it. I used to read my horoscope at the end of the year, every year, just to see what didn't happen, to see what I didn't get, you know what? Or what was supposed to happen, or what the universe thought was in store for me. Shantae, Natasha, Tucker, Jeffers. You know what? Libra, through and through, life path number 1. Year of the snake, according to the Chinese calendar, age calendar. You know what? Is it right? It's not right. It is wrong every gosh darn year. And I said, you know what? Maybe the universe was trying to help me. I heard you need a little help. You know what? So not that long ago, a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken, they had the nerve. They really did have the nerve to try to tell me. You said, you know what? Besides, I said, you know, there's a lot of things that I used to be that I'm not anymore. You know what? They had the nerve to add to the list. I didn't ask them to. Not at all. They had to ask. I said, you know what? Oh, it's a list. Right? I might talk about it one day, but it won't be tonight. You know what? I said, you know, add Libra to the list. They're talking about you used to be a Libra, but not anymore. But they're trying to tell me that persons of October 12th, you know what? That they are not a Libra anymore. I'm like, since when? You know what? I said, everything, if you want to know anything about my personality, anything about how I think, Libra, through and through, life path number 1 through and through. I said, you know, has it been right for more than 20 years, more than 30 years. You know what? Then it's still right. I'm still the same person, same woman I've always been. So anyway, so out in the world where I am right now, it's back not on the West LA VA campus, but back in Baltimore, Maryland. I made my way back over here in less time than it took me to get there. I said, you know what? Not last week, not a week before that, I'm here. I was here in Baltimore, sitting in the bus stop, reaching out to a friend, making life decisions. I said, you know what? It's one of those things. Have you ever wanted to travel cross country? I couldn't be the only person that grew up watching public television, and I'm watching the old movies, and I'm seeing the people travel across country, and it seemed like a great idea, right? You know, it can be. So I talked a little bit about that. You know what? I made my way while I was sitting here, not doing anything, like I'm usually not. I spent every Friday night, every Saturday night, not washing my hair like some people do, when it came to washing my wigs and my extensions or my enhancements. No. I sit here with my Coca-Cola, or my drink of choice, maybe, with my Auburn Mist. No, not White Zinfandel. That's back in the day. We're doing things different. Saying the same, but embracing you and trying new things, right? No, exotic fruits. You know what? And then speaking of all things, wine, I miss it. I said, you know what? There's some was I doing nothing. You know, absolutely nothing. Every weekend I was here talking to you, listening to my music. You know what? Embracing my singleness. Am I complaining? I said, you know what? If my relationship status changes, if anything's worth talking about, I'll be sure to let you know. Other than that, I'm just a single lady, and I'm embracing my singleness. Speaking of which, I'm looking at all the wonderful things I'm scrolling, which I usually don't do. I saw the bridal expo. They said, don't that make you want to get married? I said, absolutely no. It makes me want to start dating. But it doesn't make me gonna get married. You know what? But anyway, so I'm sitting in that bus, and I made it cross country via the bus. Great. It wasn't necessarily a bad experience. I talk about that here. But anyway, so you know, not in LA anymore. You know what? I'm not in Texas anymore. I'm not in Nevada anymore. I know a few other states, but anyway. But it was a great all around decent experience. Well, anyway, so the year is almost over. I'm just as single as I was on New Year's Eve, 2020, December 31st, 11:59. p.m. 2024. I was single, you know what? And here it is on November 8th, 2025. I'm still single. And if things going the way that it looks like they're going on 11:59 p.m. December 31st this year, 2025, I will be single. But I feel some kind of way about that. No, not at all. So I've been thinking about it. I said, a lot of people do like a year review. I'm not necessarily going to do a traditional year review. So what I'm supposed to do, I said I got to go back and watch all 100 and plus probably 120, almost 130 videos that I've made this year in 2025. You know what? I started my YouTube channel. And I post here and there. You know what? Instagram having an issue. You know what? I said, so they're trying to say I have to have 1,000 followers to go live on Instagram. You know what? And I be gosh darn 50. 50 on YouTube. I said maybe YouTube at one point in time you didn't have to have a minimal amount of followers or subscribers on YouTube in order to go live. Right now it used to be 100, now it's 50. So maybe as time goes on, Instagram kind of ease up just a little bit. I mean, I've had the same Instagram account for years, because it's just a different vibe, a different feeling. I like the idea of being able to go, because I said I'm single, my life is what it is, what is what I plan for it to be at this age, at my stage in life or not. So I'm embracing it. So my single. So on the weekend, what else for my weekend? Yeah. And I used to be live on Instagram. Now I can't even do that anymore. So, I'm listening to my music, you know what? And for some reason, I haven't smoked a black and a mild in a long time. I'm in a mood to listen to a little music. I'm in a mood to sip a little wine. Speaking of wine, I said, you know what? I said, this summer, what was I doing? Here in Baltimore, not doing a goddamn thing. I said, you know what? So I hear, I missed out on a lot of things over in LA this summer. One of which I hear they had like a little wine trip, something or other going on. Wine, something or other. So anyway, so I missed out on that. So I wasn't the only, even though I was here in Baltimore, you know what? I had to say the same thought, or saying something on my mind, something like that. It was wine o'clock, something like that, or wine 30, wine something like that. Well, anyway, so I was experimenting with wines this summer, you know what? And I discovered one that I really, really like, a little partial to, you know what? Arbor Mist, no, not White Zinfandel like back in the day, you know what? No, exactly. So anyway, so this weekend, what am I doing? Sitting here, talking to you. I'm back in Baltimore. I'm supposed to be doing like a year in review. So what am I going to talk about? So I'm going to go back and look at all those 100+ videos, and I'm going to take notes. And that's how I'm going to spend my New Year's Eve. But then I just realized, I said last year, even though it's not documented here on social media, I did spend New Year's Eve live on Instagram. So I was trying to think this year, what am I going to be doing on New Year's Eve? If you haven't made plans, now it's time to make plans. I'm not going to be talking about Christmas anymore. I'm not going to be talking about Thanksgiving anymore. We've been talking about Christmas for a long time. This is Thanksgiving. I don't know how I'm doing Thanksgiving. If I can, I'll cook myself for Thanksgiving. If not, I'm sure I will find Thanksgiving dinner somewhere. But anyway, I'm thinking about New Year's Eve. So what are your plans for New Year's Eve? You got any plans for New Year's Eve? And then it's one of those things, speaking of New Year's Eve, and for some reason now they crossed my mind New Year's Eve. And I say here, I always talk about sometimes, on some occasions, topics in relation to relationships. So it's that holiday season. You know what? You met someone this season, this summer. Are you staying together or are you breaking up? You know what? Yeah, is that right? Or were you single this summer, but you don't want to spend a cooler months or fall months by yourself? There's nothing wrong with it. Never make you feel bad about wanting companionship. Because there's nothing wrong with, as an adult, a man or a woman seeking companionship. Like, you know what? I may not need, but I definitely might desire. And there's nothing wrong with saying that you don't want to be alone and that you like companionship. There's nothing wrong with it at all. So anyway, I said usually I try to leave you with a question. The last time I was here, I was talking about cold blue. I said, did I go out and buy my copy of 50 Shades of Grey yet? No, and you didn't remind me. I said, you know what? I said that this summer, you said, the season, the color. I said, I was talking about cold blue. I was talking about my 50 Shades of Grey and how I'm not in my teens anymore. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I said, I'm not past the stage of being a girl's girl. I'm definitely a woman's woman. And I'm in, believe it or not, based upon what you see when I walk, I'm in my sexy area. I said, no. So it's one of those things. I said, what was I going to be doing this fall or winter, the cooler months? While I'm curled up all by myself. You know what? No, the person with a good book, a great book. So I'm thinking about starting my 50 Shades journey. This season, baby. So speaking of which, you was out and about this season, this summer. You know what? You had your summertime, whatever you want to call it. You know what? So I said last time, so what are you looking for? What type of relationship are you looking for? I said, you're talking about things like situationships. Are you looking for a serious relationship? Are you looking for just dating? Are you looking for a companion? Are you looking for a seasonal companion? I said it is that cuddle buddy, that cuddle up season. I said it's one of those things where, when you wake up in the middle of the night and it's cold, and you happen to reach over and you stretch out, and the other side of the bed cold. Am I the only person that noticed that? I don't necessarily like that. You know what? So it's just either so you right. So are you still standing with the person that you were with this summer, or are you breaking up? And then as we get into those seasons, the seasons of expectations, you know what? So you might have been dating this summer. And you might have met someone that you liked and kept, you know what? Or you might have just wanted someone to go out with and hang out with and spend time with this summer. Or you may want to be single, young, single, and free this summer. You may have. But anyway, here it is, Thanksgiving. You know what? Whether you've been single or dating, meeting someone, you know what? Are you taking that person that you've been seeing, dating, spending quality time with, not alone time with? Are you taking that person home to meet your family for Thanksgiving? You know that's Thanksgiving. You know what? At what point in time in a relationship, or how long do you have to be seeing each other in order to just have to take them home to meet the family? You know what? Because they're expecting the holiday season comes with expectations. And Thanksgiving, it might just be your start. So you've been seeing each other for a while. So it's like Thanksgiving, and then you say something. You know what? Or do you just wait for the invitation? Or do you just express your interest? You're interested in being invited, right? And then Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying? Christmas, you said another opportunity to be invited, to join the family. I said, if all else goes by the end of this, by the start of this holiday season, definitely by New Year's Eve, whoever you were seeing this summer, you would definitely have a clear understanding as to their view of your relationship and where you stand in their life. You know what? Because they had all summer to get to know you. They had all summer to get a sample or two. You know what? They had all summer to understand you as a man or as a woman. So they're going to take you out. They're going to take you home to meet that family, for instance. This holiday season, there'll be a big one. You know what? And then, so Thanksgiving, you know what? And then Christmas. And then New Year's Eve. So it's like, and then it's one of those things like New Year's Eve. I said, so just talk about going out when you're single. So do you really want to go out on New Year's Eve? If you're single, do you really want to have a date on New Year's Eve? Because keep in mind, there's going to be people out there just as single as you, and you can't be single, you can't really date or meet someone new out with someone else. That is correct, you know what? So anyway, so now this is the holiday season. It's just a holiday season to enjoy your family, your friends, season to create new memories, season to reflect on old memories, season of expectations, especially for our relationships. Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know what? And then New Year's Eve, you know what? And then we said New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and then I'll be goddamn and what happened next Valentine's Day, you know what? That's why I said we're definitely approaching the season of expectations as far as relationships. So how are you and your significant other, your friend, companion, what do you think you will be doing? And what do you think your relationship status will be? Not just this summer, but on Thanksgiving. Or before Thanksgiving, you gotta get invited. On Christmas Eve, you know what? New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Valentine's Day, you still gonna be walking around with your fingers crossed. You sure did. Because they had Christmas, they had Thanksgiving. You had Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. If you're still single on Christmas Day, I said, child, you need to put on your best dress. You need to put on some makeup tutorials on YouTube. You need to get your sexy self together, and you need to go out and embrace your singleness. You never know what the universe might send you. They send you, but you have to be open to receive or be in the right place at the right time to meet the person or someone or something that's right for you. That's not a lot. So anyway, so on New Year's Eve, what are you going to be doing on New Year's Eve? I just knew I was going to be going live on Instagram. Instagram saying, no, you're not. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then I heard some people say, we're going to spend New Year's Eve at home. Live on social media. And then maybe at 12:30, 1 o'clock, everybody going to the club, hanging out, but I'm thinking, so what are your plans for New Year's Eve? And then I was talking about relationships. And I'm talking about cold brew. And I'm talking about, relationship. I said, you know what? What type of relationship are you looking for? I've been paying attention on social media, and I'm learning words like situationships. As a matter of fact, we started off this year with our vocabulary, relationship vocabulary. You know what? Because I could be the only one. I'm listening to the music, I'm listening to the vlogs, and I'm hearing words I have no idea. Well, I think I understand what they're talking about. I mean, this context clues. You know what? But anyway, so what type of relationship are you looking for, if any? This season, you know what? Are you looking for a serious relationship? Are you looking for dating? Are you looking for a companionship? Are you looking for someone just, you know, it's gonna be cold out. It's gonna be cold outside. You're looking, depending on where you are, you're looking for those snow days. And there's nothing wrong. You say, you know what? I don't mind. I don't want to be by myself. I may not be looking for anything serious, but I definitely know that I definitely know, and of all certainty, that I don't necessarily want to be alone. And there's nothing wrong. There's some people say, I don't need a man. You might not. Or I don't need a woman. You might not. You know what? But it's definitely better, especially if you find a person just like you that you have something in common with, just as drama-free as possible to spend those cold nights with those cold days, those snow days, all those Netflix, and when you wake up and you put your cold your in the middle of the night, you know what? And then it's nice to not feel that cold sheet or that cold blanket. That's it. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the desire or knowing what you want. So anyway, I don't know what you were doing this summer. If you're dating and enjoying something this summer, or you're young, single, and free this summer, or you're enjoying your sexy era this summer, or were you in a relationship and happy as hell? You know what? Like, you know what? I am mine, and I am mine, and I am his, and he is mine. You know what? Or vice versa. You know what? You just happy as hell, and you committed, and you know what? You're not confused at all, right? But anyway, for the rest of us, you know what? What exactly are you looking for this season? I said the season of expectations as far as relationship goes. Are you embracing your singleness? Are you looking for a companion? You know, are you looking to continue dating? You know what? That's something. So I don't know. But anyway. So what I was thinking about, what I was going to be doing for New Year's Eve. I just knew I was going to do my year review live on Instagram. No, I'm not. And I was thinking, what topic? I had to go back and review, look at those 100-something videos, and trying to see what topics that I think was important enough for me to part of mine this year and to talk about. And that's how I would spend from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on December 31st, 2025, talking about what was important to me this year. One of my first videos on YouTube said my happiness is important to me. Yeah, that'd be a good way to start, you know. So what topics were important to me, or important enough that I felt like that I wanted to talk about, you know, just in general, whether it's entertainment, you know, whether it's gossip, whether it's about topics of relationships, you know, that I wanted to talk about, that I felt the need to talk about, or give my opinion about, or speak on, or ask questions. Sometimes I had questions about dating. I've been single for a long time, you know what? So I had some questions I asked, you know what? So that's what I'll be talking about on December 31st, 2025, all up until I get tired. January morning, January 1st, 2026. So what are your plans? What do you think your relationship status will be on Thanksgiving? What do you think your relationship status will be on Christmas Eve? Christmas Day. If you're still single on New Year's Eve, you know what? You still single? No, you don't. You go out by yourself on New Year's Eve. You get your best sexy something together, and you watch your YouTube tutorials, and you put your makeup on, you go out and hang out, and you just never know that you may start off your year with something that you didn't expect, or something that you didn't have, something that you didn't have before, you know. Anyway, so I don't have any plans. I don't have any plans for the holiday. I don't, not at all. But what I am looking forward to is New Year's Eve. I definitely am looking forward to 2026. I look at my vision board. All I do is tell myself, girl, don't be discouraged. You know what? Because I can't check off now one thing, even down to my Audible app. I talked about that this year too. The reason as to why I think Audible might be a great thing. Definitely a resource. You know what? But then I download my Audible app. No, I haven't. You know, so now one thing on my vision board, I checked off? Because it might not be my time yet. You know what? That's one of those things where I say, you know what? I used to go back and I used to look. You know what? it's Libra at the end of the year, trying to see all the things that the universe said somebody spoke for me, and that the universe think that they kept for me. All the things that I didn't get. You know what? But sometimes I do. But it'll be later on, and definitely in my time, if not their time, or the universe's time. So anyway, so here we go, approaching the season of expectations for our relationships. You got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas Eve, you got Christmas Day, you got New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, you know what? Up until Valentine's Day, you know what? So what do you think? What is your relationship status now? Do you think you'll get a promotion? You know what? Somewhere, this relationship, this season of expectations for our relationship. Do you see a promotion in your future? You know what? Or do you see a termination in your future? You know what? Do you see a separation, brief separation in your future? You know what? So I don't know. But anyway, am I the only person looking forward to 2026? You know what? So anyway, I'm back out of the world where I am, which is right now is Baltimore, Maryland. So I don't know, you know what? But anyway, so I'm trying to think. Some other things that I want to talk about. I think I'm going live on social media. It's been a wrestling night. Live on my social media. I haven't talked about that. I haven't done that in a long time. Continue listening to me because I'm not ready to go to sleep yet. You know what? Anyway, so here it is, November 8th, 2025, out of the world where I am, which is right now, Baltimore, Maryland. What am I in the mood to talk about tonight? What is on my mind? We're approaching the season of expectations as far as relationships. You know what is your relationship status now? What do you think your relationship status will be? February 15th, 2026. Is there a promotion in your future? You know what? Is there, do you see change in your future? You know what? I don't know, but it's only one way to find out. You gotta see. Anyway, I am Chantel J.